So when I pulled the seat out, and it's very, very tight fitting. It actually won't slide back at all because it actually tapers in, gets narrower as you move back in the boat. So, and it's pretty tight to begin with. So if we move the seat back at all, it just gets tighter and tighter. Of course, even pulling it out really scratches it up pretty good, as you can see right here. So I don't know, you can't really take the seat down in width at all without having to recover it. You might be able to save if we replace the sides. It's got 3/4 inch. If we actually put like a 1/2 inch marine plywood, they give you an extra 1/2 inch overall. And you just have to unstaple this edge over here, then we'll of course staple it back down. That might help you some. I don't think it's going to slide back much farther, but actually recovering it, then we could take a section out of the middle of it then, or off one end of it, take a section off. Either way. Another thing I noticed is when I pulled the tank out, or when I pulled the seats out, you got stainless steel tanks, which are, if they were manufactured, that'd be one thing, but we can't build a stainless steel tank because it's not U.S. Coast Guard approved. It's got to be out of aluminum. And I noticed once we get the seat up that there was fiberglass on top of this, and I smelt some fuel. You can kind of see there's a hairline, there's a crack right there, right in front of my fingernail. I haven't pulled any more of it off. I've kind of, this crack kind of goes to each side a little bit. It goes underneath. I'll investigate some more. Just wanted to show you where I found where it was covered up with fiberglass. So that's a hazard. So if you're leaking fuel out. Another thing I noticed, the fuel lines are pinched. So you might want to raise the seat up. Maybe put a spacer. I mean, 3/8 would probably do it. Have a spacer to bring the seat up just a hair more. With the seat being so hard to get out, you really can't get to your fuel lines. And if you ever had to get to your fuel lines, you're going to be scratching the sides up again. Another thing is the fuel pumps, to be U.S. Coast Guard approved, need to be within 12 inches of the engine. And the fuel pumps are a lot farther than that away. There's not a good spot to hide them, I guess. You could probably hide them under the back. But and then maybe actually have one fuel line or one fuel pump that can feed off either or tank. I think these might actually be feeding from both at the same time. It may not be, which is probably still doable. But I noticed wire nuts, household wire nuts, right here, over there. You can see the red wire nuts over there. Those aren't too big of a deal to change, but those ought to be changed. But I'm not sure. I know we should at least get one fuel tank. I haven't found anything wrong with this one, other than the fact that it's stainless steel, which, like I said, it may be fine if the manufacturer built it. We'll have to look into that, but that might be something you want to change. I don't know. To do one, do both. Another thing is they got these tabs, and they're actually built into the structure. They're going through the engine stringers. There's a bolt coming up through the bottom there, and there's probably a stud in the bottom. Right here. That's probably been glassed over underneath. So the Coast Guard does not like having your tank as part of the structure. So that should be strapped in some way. You could actually make a strap to go around it. You could put maybe a rubber underneath it or something to keep it from sliding around, but have a strap that comes around it and then would attach to the engine stringer, and your strap across the bottom could come up on the back side and then have a tab bend over on the engine stringer. But there's a couple things I noticed. I'm getting ready to start putting some fasteners in the deck where the where the planks are loose. So you got this piece that's a little loose. It's hard to, that one's not moving a lot, but of course you knew about all this. And these sides are moving quite a bit, so I'm going to get all those. I'm going to get them glued and fastened in, and then bunged over. And this edge is a little bit proud. I don't know if you can really tell. I'm not sure how I can hold the camera to where you can see it's a little bit higher. My finger actually catches it, so we'll shave that down and then build the varnish up on there. So anyway, a couple things I noticed, a couple things to think about.